How long have you known Aaron?
I've known him all my life, from nursery anyway. He was out there, kid, sat in the corner and nobody talked to him. I decided to go over and talk to him once, and now I can't get him away from me.
So do you think that, what kind of things do you do in nursery?
Well, he just sat by himself, and like, I caught him once eating Play-Doh. Eating Play-Doh, like.
Ethan, why do you think Aaron doesn't have a girlfriend yet?
Well, if I was to be honest with you, I don't really know. I think I'll say it anyway. Aaron's not really, the straightest guy in the bunch.
So what you're trying to say is that he might be leaning over to the left side, being a bit gay, or?
Well, I think the correct term, I don't want to hurt his feelings, would be homosexual. He likes a bit of the boy. He's had a wee grope at me before, but he sort of doesn't like me saying. I just said that like you do.
Ran, what kind of things does Aaron do in his spare time?
He eats, and he drinks a lot of Coke. Well, I heard him one day, he said 4 litres of Coke a night. Because, just bad for him, because he likes Coke. Really?
So Ethan, when you go out with Aaron, what kind of things does he do? So say you're in Tesco's, what kind of things would he do?
Well, the last time we were there, he actually went around to the clothes aisle. It was a onesie sale, so I got, I think it was a reindeer onesie. It's pretty weird. And then he was just like, guys, come on, follow me. And I was like, right. Went around to the fruit section, and yeah, we'll just leave it at that. He did some pretty weird things around the fruit section. We'll just leave it there. Alright.
So when Aaron goes onto the show, do you reckon all the girls are going to turn their lights off at him straight away, or do you reckon some of those girls are going to be like, I want a piece of that?
Well, I definitely like the term, I want a piece of that, and I hope all the girls are giving it the, I want a piece of that.
So,
sure.
What kind of girls do you reckon would go for Aaron? So you're trying to make like your blonde hair, your brunettes. What kind of birds do you reckon will go for Aaron?
Well, I think the better question is what sort of girls would Aaron go for, which would be ones that look like guys, to be honest. Obviously that.
Question for both of you: if you could describe Aaron in one word, what would it be, Ran?
Lonely.
What about you, Ethan?
Immuno-ultramicroscopic sulcovolcanoic.
And that's all one word?
It is. It's the longest word in the English language. I picked that one because Aaron is just very. He's a big guy and he's complicated.
He's complicated, right? Okay. Well, thank you very much for your input in the Aaron's life. Thank you very much.
You think your son is single?
Because he's very ugly. But it doesn't mean he's not a nice person. He's got a wonderful personality, just an awful lot of it.
Do you think he'll find love from the show?
Only if he pays an awful lot of money.
How would you feel if your son got a date?
I would be amazed.
What was he like growing up? Any embarrassing stories?
There are many embarrassing stories about Aaron, many of which are unrepeatable, but he was in general a very naughty boy.
Anyway, can you sum him up in a few words?
He is kind, he is handsome, he's a lovely little boy. He is also very ugly, and I have got his toys.
So Hob Day, first question I want to ask you is, where do you know Dean from?
I met Dean on an online bisexual dating website, but since then he's changed teams, so it's very unfortunate.
What do you mean he's changed teams? What has he done?
He likes girls now.
He likes girls? And
Yeah.
What do you think caused that?
Me.
You? So he went out with you and...
Yeah.
Right, okay. So Ran, what kind of hobbies does Dean like to do?
Well, he's really into his ballet. He does it quite a lot. I must say he's very good. And he's also into badminton. Anytime we have free period, he's never away from a badminton court.
Right. You mentioned ballet. How often does he do that?
3 times a day.
3 times a day?
No doubt.
Right. So Hob Day, what kind of things does Dean get up to on a typical night out?
Well, Dean likes to take a drink, and when Dean gets a wee bit drunk, he likes to lick people's faces. And then after that, he sometimes moves on the windows.
On the windows?
Yeah.
So how much drink does he need before he starts doing that?
Just 2 or 3 pints, like.
2 or 3 pints? That's pretty bad, like.
Jack Daniels usually.
Jack Daniels. Right, okay. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you 2 things each about what you think is embarrassing to Dean. So, Ryan, what do you think?
Believe it or not, he has a phobia of body hair. He's an avid shaver.
An avid shaver?
Yeah.
So-
anytime there's a sign of hair, shave right off.
Shave right off. What about you, Hobday? What would be another one?
Well, I don't know what he done with that hair. Like, I think a hairdresser's just put a cereal bowl around his head and just shaved around the outside.
Right.
And since 1997, he's been collecting toenails. Believe it or not, it's pretty sick, to be honest.
There's one Sunday morning after a night out, I walked into his house and he was walking up and down the living room in his mum's brand knickers.
So, Hobday, why do you think Dean doesn't have a girlfriend yet?
There's one reason why Dean doesn't have a girlfriend at the minute, and that's because of his cat Sylvia.
So, if you could both describe Dean in 2 words, what would it be, Ryan?
Well, very pale comes into mind.
What about you, Hobday?
Only 2 words for Dean. Bebo Stunner!
Why do you think your son is single?
Tough one. He's can't sleep with the light out, and have you seen him? His face says it all.
Do you think you'll find love from the show?
Hopefully. I'm fed up with the bedwetting and his overall hygiene problem. Please, I hope there's someone out there for him.
What was he like growing up? Any embarrassing stories?
Well, his mother didn't really want him in the house much, so I used to take him out quite a bit and he would eat stuff off the floor. Luckily, around about 15, he stopped this bad habit. So, also, would be embarrassing story is if it got out, he's actually adopted.
Sum up in a few words.
Yes, fragile, needy, clingy. That's it.
So, Andrew, where do you know Ryan Hayes from?
Well, I know him from the corner house. I stormed in whenever the night it burnt down. It was quite suspicious actually, because he had lighter fluid in his hand and bottles ready to produce.
Said he didn't do it, like,
Yeah.
you know.
So, what about you, Clark? Where did you meet him?
Oh well, like I met him in the corner house as well. Quite weird circumstances.
So would you call him a party animal then? He's always down at the corner houses and the con club and all that there?
I think he has permanent residence there. I heard some people actually call him the original corner house creeper.
So, Clark, why do you think Ryan doesn't have a girl yet?
Good question. I don't think Ryan has a girl because, well, first of all, his personality stinks.
He's always trying to steal other people's girls.
Hello?
What do you mean he's trying to steal other people's girls?
Well, you know what I mean? Other people have girlfriends and he's always sniffing around them.
Is he?
Trying to...
Is this when he's drunk or when he's sober? But what is this?
6 Magnums. Diluted and all that.
Right, lads, what do you think is Ryan's most embarrassing moment?
Do you remember that time whenever he was in the shower and we took all his clothes?
Oh, aye, that one.
Yes, so he couldn't get changed back into his clothes again, so he was raging like.
So, what happened after that there? Did you give him his clothes back? What happened?
Well,
No, did not.
I was a wee bit excited, like, and he was running about the place just like, where's my clothes? Didn't really care, like, but he was loving like.
And where was this again? Down in the camp? How many people were down there?
Like 600.
All
600?
boys, too. All boys.
All boys.
Brutal.
So, Clark, what are Ryan's hobbies?
Well, Ryan's hobbies just consist of, like, he's keen for yoga.
Always goes in when there's full of women.
Just the female only class. You know. He likes cross stitching, hot cross buns, cross the road,
Cross-dressing.
crosswords, cross dressing, crossing out lines and books that are wrong.
Yep.
Andrew, what do you reckon Ryan's going to get out of tonight?
I think I'll get a good looking girl and be able to go away with her and have fun in paradise.
So do you reckon that most people are going to turn their lights off, or...
Oh yeah, he might be lucky guy, you know, he's a good looking person, like, you know, he can get all his lights. Clark disagrees, but sure.
Hold
there you
on.
go.
So what about you, Clark? What do you reckon he's
I
going to...
swear, as soon as he gets down there, all lights are going off. Can I get a hell yeah?
So lads, final question. If you could sum Ryan up in one word, what would you say?
Unstable.
I'd have to go for the personal favourite, Ginger.
Why do you think your son is single?
Well, personally, I think due to his strawberry blonde hair, he's found it quite difficult. Maybe a few highlights in there might mix it up a wee bit for him. Also, concentrating on his refereeing over the last few years has not helped his love life at all.
Do you think you'll find love from the show?
Well, just like the Shrek film, if there's a Princess Fiona out there, he'll definitely find love.
What was he like growing up? Any embarrassing stories?
Well, he's a very likeable boy, but it's going to be very hard for him to get a woman on this show when he constantly picks his nose.
Can you sum him up in a few words?
Ginger hair, ginger beard, and ginger armpits.
So Stephen, how did you meet Phil?
Well, one day we were at McDonald's, right? Remember?
Yeah.
And I said to him, "Is this Tom where he's standing over?" So I ran over, right, looking for his autograph. But then he says, "Oh, I'm not Tom Ware, my name's Phil." And he's actually stalked me ever since. It's so embarrassing.
You sweet mean he stalked you?
He's just texting me, BBOing me.
Doesn't
He's
leave you alone.
MySpacing me. See at MSN on the webcam. He's all over me. I can't believe him. Like, he's just so annoying.
So what was Phil like when he was younger? Was he a bit of a prankster? Was he a bit of a geek or nerd? What was he like?
Well, Phil's mum gives a wee picture just to show you today. Story I'd just like to show you.
Oh, that's lovely. So it is, yeah. Yeah.
He likes dressing up as a woman. We caught him one day and he was so embarrassed. But
So what do you mean you catch him dressed up as a woman? Do you like see him walking around his mum's stuff? Does he do that as well?
oh,
Oh, jeez.
just in the house.
his
in the
favourite
house.
are the wigs. He loves
The
the
wigs,
wigs.
does he? Yeah.
Definitely does.
So why do you think Phil doesn't really have a girlfriend? Why is he going on this show?
Well, actually, Phil used to get all the girls. He had a princess. Sort of slowed him down for a while, but everyone in the community, they're nowhere near him these days because they know he's got 3 pregnant inside 19 months. And he's just done himself out everything, hasn't he? But now this show will hopefully get him a new princess.
Does he have any current kids that the girls should know about?
Well, he's got young Tom Ware, and he's got Zainab. They're
He's expecting to still.
he's
on the
expecting
way,
to. Yeah, they're twins, like.
So what kind of hobbies does Phil do when he's not in school? But what does he do out there?
Well, he likes to play football, and when he's getting changed, he likes wearing women's underwear.
What do you mean women's underwear?
He
Explains
says
for himself, like.
he says he likes to wear his mum's because it makes him feel freer.
So when Phil goes on to this show, do you reckon all the girls are going to turn their lights out? What kind of girl do you reckon he's going to get out of this?
I think all the girls will probably keep their light on, but see, just being the maid I am, I hope he gets a blackout.
What do you mean by blackout? Like all the girls turn their lights
All the girls
off?
just turn their lights off, and he's left all by himself.
So what kind of girl, Rand, do you reckon he's going to get out of this here? If they do keep the lights on, what kind of girl?
I want my big tits.
So Stephen, when Phil walks on to take me out, do you reckon all the girls are going to keep their lights on? What do you reckon is going to happen?
I think, they probably would keep all their lights on, but the maid I am, the banter me and Phil have together, hopefully they all turn their lights off.
What do you mean by a blackout? That the whole studio goes...
Just hopefully, no one goes for him.
Nobody goes
he
for
has
him?
to walk home himself.
Okay, so Rand, what kind of bird do you reckon Phil might pull from this show?
Worldly.
Hopefully one looks like his mum.
Yeah. He's pretty fan.
So lads, what kind of embarrassing stories do you have to tell us about Phil?
It was that night out on the
yeah,
dance floor.
funny.
Phil spotted a nice wee wordly himself and went over, stuck lips on her, turned around, it was a guy.
It had long hair and...
Yeah. Couldn't believe it.
Couldn't believe it.
Fell for him.
So lads, final question. What do you think Phil's going to get out of this?
Well, I really do hope he gets his princess.
Oh, I don't.
Why do you think your son is single?
Well, that's a good question. Phil was single probably because most of the time growing up he was a bit of a loner. He had some imaginary friends, but as he grew up he just found talking to girls really nerve-wracking. And he kind of loves himself a little bit too much. Looking in the mirror, fixing his hair all the time, so yeah, probably why he's single.
You think he'll find love from the show?
Hopefully, get him out of my hair, moping around the house all day. Hopefully there's someone who will look after him and who will keep him amused.
What was he like growing up? Any embarrassing stories?
Well, apart from him being a bit of a loner, as I said, he's a pretty normal kid, except for the fact until he was 13 he dressed like a girl and insisted that we called him Penelope.
Sum him up in a few words.
He's a generally good kid, but just very lonely, weepy and very self-obsessed.